Hi, I'm Andy Sandoval, and I'll be explaining how vision works. See, this is your eye, basically. This is your eyeball. And the light enters through the cornea, a clear covering that protects the eye and begins to focus on incoming light. The light then passes through the pupil, which is a small opening in the center of the eye. Surrounded by the pupil is the iris. Now, the iris is the colored part of the eye that controls the size of the pupil by constricting or dilating in response to light intensity. And behind the pupil, we find the lens. And the lens is a structure that focuses the incoming light on the retina, which is here in the back. The retina is a layer of tissue at the back of the eye that contains photoreceptors. Visual accommodation, which happens in the retina, is a process of changing the curvature of the lens to keep the light entering the eyes focused on the retina. Here we have our rods and our cones. Rods are visual neurons that specialize in detecting black, white, and gray colors, while cones are visual neurons that specialize in detecting fine detail colors. And the fovea is the central point of the neuron. Phototransduction is the process by which light is converted into electrical signals in the rod cells, cone cells, and photosensitive ganglion cells. And now here we have our bipolar cells, which inside the retina exist between photoreceptors and ganglion cells, and they transmit signals from the photoreceptors to the ganglion cells. And the ganglion cells receive info from the photoreceptors, the rods and the cones, via the bipolar cell and sends visual info to the thalamus. Once we pass the retina, we have the optic nerve, which is a collection of millions of ganglion neurons that send vast amounts of visual info via the thalamus. And the thalamus relays all this information between the cortex and the brainstem. Now the visual cortex back here specializes neurons that turn the sensations they receive from the optic nerve into meaningful images. And now, because there are no photoreceptor cells at the place where the optic nerve leaves the retina, we have a blind spot in our vision. The future detector neurons, which are the black things you see here, are specialized neurons located in the visual cortex that respond to the strengths, angles, shapes, edges, and movements of a visual stimulus. And right here we see the lateral geniculate nucleus, which is the primary relay center for the visual information received from the retina of the eye. And after all this is done, it goes to the occipital lobes, which allow us to see things. And as well as we can see things, we can also touch things, which involves our parietal lobe's work. Thank you for listening. I'm Andy Sandoval.